I am Esther, and this is my ability. I am Aaron, is my ability.
Welcome to the Power of the CAPE, Certified Adapted Physical Educator Certification. My name is Brad Weiner, and I am an Adapted Physical Educator working out of Maryland.
And hi, my name is Heidi Ambrosius. I'm an Adapted PE Specialist in Southern California for the Moreno Valley Unified School District, and I'm also an adjunct professor at Cal State San Bernardino in their Adapted PE program. Welcome. As Brad said, I'm really glad that you guys are joining us today. Brad is all the way across the country in Maryland, and I'm all the way in Southern California. And I wish we could be in person with all of you, but circumstances as they are, we cannot be. And Brad and I wanted to talk to you about the CAPE certification. So one of the things that we wanted to start with was, how does society perceive professionals and their post-nominal letters? Why would you want to get this CAPE certification as an adapted PE teacher? So other professions, we know that there's a doctor of physical therapy, doctor of occupational therapy, speech therapist, behavior analyst, even the national board certified teacher. And the CAPE certification is specific to us in adapted physical education. Why do people put post-nominal letters behind their name? Well, there's many, many reasons for that. Respect, accomplishment, to show that you're educated in that specific area, advocacy, worth, and value. And we'll talk a little bit more about that as we go through our presentation.
To succeed in this world, we must do everything we can to appear successful. So when people criticize you, fill you with insecurity and self-doubt, rip it out. I am great. I am wonderful. Everybody likes me. Stand up. Rip it out.
I am great. I am wonderful. Everybody likes me. I am great. I am wonderful. Everybody likes me.
So the CAPE holds the same level of accountability as any other profession. So some things to consider. If you were to have the CAPE certification, when you're writing an email to a parent, signing an assessment report, or attending an IEP, you're showing that parent that you have a certain level of education to have obtained that certification in your field. Also, post-nominal letters are a symbol of knowledge and expertise. In order to get that certification, you have to go through a process and prove that you have a certain amount of knowledge in that area. And it is also a seal certifying validity of what is shared. And I can tell you for myself in California, I wasn't ever going to get my CAPE certification because we have our own credential for adapted PE in our state. And so I never thought, like, why would I get that? Why would I need that? And the more I thought about it, the more I wanted to support our profession on a national level and to also demonstrate that I do have that level of knowledge to meet that national certification as well as the state certification for my credential.
Yeah, and Heidi, for myself, I went to SUNY Cortland, and as we know, that's the home office. So for me, I had the advantage of feeling like that is the expectation that coming out of that university, you're going to get the CAPE certification. And so I did. But what I've found is that not everybody else has somebody there that's encouraging them to get the certification like I did. But it is important, and it does provide that gold standard.
Life is like a really good sandwich. It's all how you make it. So fill it with the good stuff. Fill your life with the good stuff, people. We've been waiting for this moment, and here we are. It's a good moment. All moments are if you take a moment. As I look out here today, I see potential.
On the national level, the more CAPES we have throughout the nation, the stronger our field becomes, and the more prestigious the educational community views adapted physical educators. Also, currently in many areas throughout the country, physical education teachers without any background or knowledge can provide APE services because administrators in these areas lack knowledge that there is actually a national certification. And I know for myself, that's really scary to think about teachers that don't have any experience or education in adapted physical education actually working with children with special needs, because they need to have that knowledge of those different disabilities and how to work with them in a safe manner. So for me, especially getting this certification and supporting our field on a national level, I feel like the more CAPES that we have, the better our profession will be viewed throughout the nation, and the more people will become aware of our national certification as well. And also, Brad brought up some good points that having more CAPES in our country equals hiring of more qualified professionals, and hiring of more qualified professionals equals greater student growth.
Yeah, and Heidi, this is something that I am currently experiencing in Maryland, where we do not need to have the CAPE and we don't have an endorsement. And so general physical educators throughout Maryland are teaching students with disabilities, yet our physical educators don't have the background knowledge to do the profession. If we have more professionals that are certified with the CAPE, that creates more advocacy within our state. And if we have more advocacy within our state, administrators start to know about the certification more, and we'll start to hire more qualified teachers. So having that certification really advocates for our profession beyond just yourself, but at a state and also national level.
Right, absolutely. And it also advocates for the safety of our students and the level of service that they deserve to have qualified professionals providing those services. Also, personal growth. So there's a good chance you'll also learn something through the process and advance your own growth towards serving students with disabilities. I know for myself, I had been teaching for 20 plus years before I got my CAPE certification. So going back to the basics was actually really good for me. And of course, there's been a lot of growth in the field. So there were some things that I absolutely learned in studying and preparing for this exam, and that really did help me in my teaching and working every day with my students.
Yeah, and this growth mindset, as students enter your room, how do you take that? Do you take a step forward and say, yeah, I want to learn all the strategies and I want to learn more about the students so that I can better support them? Or do you take a step back and are you saying, whoa, I can't teach these students? So it's having that growth mindset and taking that step forward to really look into how you can better yourself to support the students that enter your room.
I realized that challenges can help me grow. Also, my attitudes and efforts can determine my abilities.
Brad's going to talk about the history and some other aspects of the certification.
Yeah, so we're going to dive into APENS and what APENS is. A little bit of the history is that APENS came around in 1992 through a grant that the National Consortium for Physical Education for Individuals with Disabilities organization put in to get the grant. And from that grant, they were able to develop the Adapted Physical Education Standards, which was recently revised in 2020 and is now in its third edition. So APENS was created in 1995 as a function of NCPEID to certify professionals in adapted physical education throughout the United States. A little bit of history on where APENS came from. So NCPEID, or subgroup of NCPEID, led by Dr. Luke Kelly, started by creating 15 standards. And here are the 15 standards. When thinking about the 15 standards, they aligned them to Shape America. And most recently, they also aligned them to the National Boards for Professional Teaching Standards. So again, thinking about that gold standard, the APENS standards are based off of Shape America and the national boards. And as you can see here, as you're reading through the 15 standards, you can see that they directly align to what we do on a day-to-day practical implementation of what we do. So as we think about, I want to get my APENS, I want to become CAPE certified. So there are some eligibility requirements of needing a minimum of 12 semester hours. Now, they don't have to be 12 semester hours specifically in adapted physical education, but they are 12 semester hours in adapted physical education or related. So satisfactory completion of minimal of 9 credits in adapted physical education coursework and 3 credits of coursework from related field. Satisfactory completion of a minimal of 6 credits in adapted PE coursework and 3 credits in coursework from related fields as documented, and up to 3 credits awarded for professional experience teaching APE as documented. So for example, if I have been teaching students with disabilities and for a year, I can use some of that teaching experience to go towards up to 3 credits. You also do need a minimum of 200 hours of documented experience providing physical education instruction to individuals with disabilities. So you're going to get those 2 hours documented by your administrator or your supervisor to say that, yes, they have completed those 200 hours. If you're at a university, your professor your cooperating teacher can indicate the 200 hours.
Yes, also I was going to add, a lot of the master's degree programs that are in our country now that are geared towards adapted physical education will also satisfy the requirements for the certified adapted physical educator, which I think is just great. I think that that helps support our certification on a national level as well. And then it also helps those teachers that are really looking at master's programs. Well, hey, if I make sure that I take one of these programs that is ensuring that I'm prepared, it's a great way to not only gain more experience in adapted physical education, but to prepare yourself for their certification as well.
Excellent points. And then you also need to have a current valid teaching certificate in physical education. So we provide a link at the bottom to the APENS exam. And we have links throughout our presentation that you'll be able to click through on your own. The certification so the certification is provided for 7 years. You'll receive 1 free year of membership to NCPEID, to the NCPEID organization. And then you'll receive 1 free year of subscription to Palestra. You'll also receive a certificate documenting your accomplishment that a lot of people I know like to post on their wall. So you want people to know that you have this CAPE. So you can, you can frame this and put it on your wall so everybody knows. And then you'll also be able to identify as a CAPE with those initials indicated after your name, just like Heidi was sharing earlier on. So it provides you that ability to, when you are completing an assessment, you can sign your name and then put those initials and have more validity towards that assessment that you wrote. So as we know that the certification is for 7 years, and you want to keep track of that, because as your 7 years comes up, you want to already be starting that recertification. So on your 5th year, you want to start to be thinking about it, and your 6th year, you want to start to put your materials together so that you can recertify. And you want to do this prior to the expiration. So we put the link here. Now, all the links I'm sharing with you here, or Heidi and I are sharing with you right now, are also on the APENS website. Part of the form for recertifying requires you to show how you have stayed engaged in adaptive physical education over the previous years. So there are 5 criteria, and you need to indicate how you met not all the 5 criteria, but most of the 5 criteria. So were you an elected official or board member related to APE? Have you conducted presentations or in-services? Engaging in professional development. Part of professional development could be taking coursework, a licensure or endorsement in your state, or have you supervised interns or had student teachers within APE? So you have to document how you've kept up within adaptive physical education in order to recertify. So here's the APENS website. As I indicated, all the links that we're sharing with you are on the APENS website. So if you're having difficulty clicking any of these links, just go there, they're all there. What you want to do when you're interested in becoming a CAPE, you're first going to want to fill out the application, which is now online or can be downloaded as a PDF. So you have those 2 options. You're going to complete the first part of the application. And currently, as we're creating this presentation, you'd make a checkout for $150 payable to APENS. Now you're going to want to be quick because in January, the price is going to increase to $250. You're going to make the checkout and send it in with your first part of the application. And you're going to send that to Dr. Tim Davis, and that's at SUNY Cortland. And that's the office of APENS. Now, when I say and if, but we all know you're all going to pass. When you pass, you'll complete the part 2 of the application. If for some reason you didn't pass, you'd be able to take the exam again. And then when you did pass, then you would complete the part 2 of the application.
And I'm glad you mentioned that, Brad, because people have asked me that question as well. Well, if I don't pass, do I have to pay the fee again? And I believe that answer is no. I believe that they would give you at least another opportunity to take that test. But if you buy the study guide and you study, you'll pass.
Yeah, there are different things that you can do. Take it seriously, buy the study guide and study. Also, you can look at getting a study group together. We all have been living in the virtual world, so that doesn't mean that somebody needs to be in your current area. You could have a study group throughout the country, and that works fine.
Yeah.
And so just take it seriously and network with the people within your area. Find a local CAPE and ask them questions.
Great suggestion. I hadn't had to study for a test in a really, really long time. So I was a little intimidated by having to take this assessment. But I think that most of the people in our field, especially that are practitioners, you guys know this information. You may not know it exactly the way it's worded on the test, which is why you should really pay attention to that study guide. But I think most of you would find most of this information you do know because you do live it every day. But that study guide really helps in absolutely connecting with others And that's a great idea, to be able to study with each other and help support each other along this process.
If at first you don't succeed, you're normal. You don't have to have it all figured out. You do need to know this. You are awesome.
So when you're thinking about the exam, there are 100 questions on the test, which are multiple choice, and you have 3 hours to complete the exam. The exam is offered paper pencil format on a Scantron. And as Heidi and I were talking prior, we were both taking the exam with our principal who was monitoring our exam. So you can ask your principal to, proctor your exam, or you can get a group of people and have somebody with adapted physical education proctor it. You can go to conferences. Typically at this conference, actually, they hold the exam, and other state conferences and the national conference, they hold the exam. So there are places where you can do the paper and pencil. However, if you like to take exams online, they now offer it online. So celebrate for that. And if you
Scantron in a really long time either, so.
For me, it was a hard transition to go from paper copy to online, but now I'm becoming more of a person who
Aren't we all? Aren't we all? Yeah.
So it is online. The APENS exam is available through SUNY Cortland's Blackboard, their website. And so what you want to do is contact Dr. Tim Davis if you're interested in taking the online version, and he'll help you set you up for that. So we were talking about those study materials earlier and how important they are. So we do recommend that you purchase them. I know it is a little bit of money out of your pocket. Some people look to their district for some funding, and some counties or districts already have the book, and so that you can borrow it. So you may want to look into if somebody already has it, or you can borrow it. However, for me, I like to have resources in my library. So even though I'm already certified, I chose to purchase it as a professional resource for myself to have. And I go to it all the time. So the book was just redone. The 3rd edition just came out, and there is a web study guide that's part of it. So if you get the hard copy book, it comes with a web study guide. If you choose to do the web study guide, you can do that as well. And here are the 2 links. They are through Human Kinetics. The study guides do offer more than 1,000 sample test questions. So thinking about if you want to study, there's a great opportunity to sample some questions. And then exactly to what Heidi was saying, you may have the knowledge, but the way that it's worded. So taking these sample questions will help you understand how things are worded. They also allow you to practice quizzes, and then the candidates will receive a score and can review the correct and incorrect answers from those quizzes. So we both highly recommend that you get the study guide. It will support your success. Here are the resources that we've used to put this presentation together. And then Heidi has put a QR code link here that will be available also in the PDF syllabus. And so if you use QR code, you can take your phone or whatever you need to do that, and that will take you to these slides.
If you're tired of starting over, stop giving up.
Here's the deal. I can do anything, be anything, create anything, dream anything, become anything.
My dad always says, you are what you do, not what you say.
Well, you grown-ups say you love us, but I challenge you, please, make your actions reflect your words.
If you believe in yourself, you will know how to ride a bike. If you don't, you just keep practicing. I like my pajamas. I like my stuff. I like my rooms. I like my whole house. My whole house is great. I can do anything good. Yeah. I can do anything. I just want everything to be good as possible. Nothing else.
You better not give up on us. No, you better not. Because, as you know, in some cases, you're all we've got.
And if I can be nice, I think all of us can be nice too. This is your turn. Now go out there and take it.
Heidi and I, we've had a great fun putting this presentation together for you. We do really highly recommend becoming CAPE certified for all those wonderful reasons that Heidi was explaining in the very beginning, and we hope that you look to do it. We'll be available for questions, but then also if you're not part of the 15 minutes that you can ask us questions live, you can contact either one of us.
Yes, absolutely. And we really appreciate you joining us today and hope that this helps motivate you to get your CAPE certification.
The world's more awesome just because you're in it. You add something to every room you enter, and I mean it. You're about to enter some new rooms and they need you. We need you to reach higher than you ever reached. It's time to make awesome stuff happen. Stop hitting pause. It's time to start hitting play. It won't be easy, but anything can happen, right? I mean, have you seen Air Bud? It's a story of a dog playing basketball. There were like 18 of those movies. 18 Air Buds. Didn't think it was possible, but they did it. Make the impossible possible. We all have the capacity for greatness.